Welcome to a new week. Mercy here again. Yeah, I hope you had a very wonderful week. Personally, for me, I had a cool. It was quite nice. Like, it was actually really nice, sincerely. Okay, so last week I started a topic, knowing your worth, and I said we're going to walk through it like a series, a kind of series, kind of podcast kind of series. So and we're centering on worth, like, okay, what is worth, and how do we know our worth? Okay. I feel that this topic is very important because a lot of us have lost sight of what true worth is. We define our worth by different things. We define our worth by circumstances. We define our worth by backgrounds, or by wealth, or all those type of stuff. That is what we use to define our worth. But I believe that what is beyond that, self-worth is beyond that. So what is self-worth per se? Before then, what we are just really going to run through in this course of series is going to be we're going to understand what self-worth is. We are going to understand the slight difference between self-esteem and self-worth. Then we're going to talk about the things that actually make people feel unworthy. What are these things that actually make people feel unworthy? Then we're going to talk about ways we can actually begin to feel more worthy, ways we can begin to have a bit of more accolades on who we are to ourselves. Then we're going to talk about advantages you get when you actually know your worth, or when you know your value. Then at the end, we're just going to ask ourselves some questions, and just like say some questions where we on ourselves, we go and answer by ourselves and within ourselves, to actually know if we fit in this particular part, or we fit in this particular part, or our idea of what we actually thought that self-worth was, and if it needs to change or not. So today we're going to be talking about what self-worth is. What is self-worth? There are different definitions. Like, if you Google self-worth, you are going to see different definitions that people place out there to say what self-worth is. But I kind of like got a couple of them together, and I will expand on it. Okay, that's what we're just going to do today. We're going to take definitions and we're going to expand on it. Are we good? Yeah. Okay, so what is self-worth? One definition says that self-worth is a feeling you are a good person and you deserve to be respected. So this definition says that it is a feeling. Self-worth is a feeling that you're a good person. So that means somehow, to understand your worth, you need to have this feeling of deservedness, like this feeling that you are good and you deserve to be respected, you deserve to be treated well, you deserve to be this, you deserve to be that, you deserve to have a say. A couple of things that you will start expanding on, like, okay, I feel I'm a good person, right? So that means I deserve to be treated right, isn't it? Yeah, I feel I'm a good person. That means I deserve to be told when there is something important, or when something happens, maybe in my locality or within my set of friends. I deserve to know what's going on because I feel I'm a good person, right? So that's what this definition says, and that's according to Merriam-Webster definition of what self-worth is: a feeling that you're a good person and you deserve to be respected. So, but in psychology, it says that when you talk about self-worth, it's at the core of our very selves. Like, it's at the core of our very selves. Our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors are intimately tied into how we view our worthiness on value as human beings. Psychology sees it as something that is at the intrinsic part of ourselves. Like, self-worth is knowing the intrinsic part of yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and it expands into how we view things, or how we feel this kind of worthiness towards things and all that. So psychology says that. So psychology says that if you want to truly know yourself, it has to do with you having to understand your feelings, having to understand your views about things, your perspective about things, and having to understand that self-worth is at the core of our very existence. Because if you don't know your worth, you can actually be able to explore all that you're supposed to explore in your lifetime, right? Okay. Then on personality, self-worth is an internal state of being. Like, it's an internal state of being, and it comes from an understanding. It comes from self-love. Yeah, you have to love yourself. There are a lot of people today Well, the truth is, according to, if you look at the bully statistics, they will say that a lot of people that bully is because of insecurity. They bully because they are insecure about things. They are insecure that maybe you're better than them, or they are insecure about maybe, for example, in high schools and all that, maybe you're a nerd. They call you a nerd, but what's actually a nerd? Maybe actually be someone that really, that is smart, that has a lot of insight about a lot of things, and they're kind of like intimidated by that. So they use their external prowess, they use their strength to overshadow those kind of people. And what I feel that this actually is that it's because they don't understand their own value and their own worth. You know, a lot of people, they define their worth by different standards. You get, we're going to get into that in the next video. Why people feel unworthy, the third video, right? Yeah, the next video. So you wonder, why do these people bully? Because they're actually insecure. They don't understand their own, as in they don't believe that they are something without having to prove that they are bigger than someone, or they don't believe that they are something without having to prove that they are better in this than someone. So they use their external strength, their vigor to kind of like intimidate other people around them, so they bow or something. You get, okay? But actually what happens is that they don't know who they are. They don't understand their worth. They feel they don't know that, and you don't need to do all those things to show that you are something, or to show that you are somebody. So because of that misunderstanding of who they are, like they don't know who they are, because of that they end up doing those things that they do. But actually self-worth is an internal state of being, that comes from, I would like from understanding. You need to love yourself to truly understand your worth. You need to have an understanding of yourself to know what your worth is. You need to accept yourself to be able to know what your worth is. So self-worth is an internal state of being that makes you understand, that makes you love yourself, that comes from the love you have for yourself, that comes from the acceptance you take for yourself. Now that self is very important. There are a lot of us, we love other people, we talk about other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we feel we are not good enough, or we can actually be anything when we talk about ourselves. And that is what self-worth is trying to make you understand, that self-worth is, you have to place yourself in an understudy, where you begin to understand the way you move, not literally now, like understand the way you act, and the way you vision things, your mind, the way you view things, and all that, understanding the true definition of your worth. And then you begin to love yourself, you begin to accept yourself. Now, not mind you, don't think that having self-worth makes you feel somehow proud or whatever. We're going to get into that. So that this is part of some of the reasons why people don't actually believe that they need to, they don't come into the full acceptance of what their worth is. There are a lot of ideas out there that makes people to do that, but we're going to come into that later on. But today we're actually just really talking about what self-worth is, and all that. So in full and in summary, self-worth actually is unflinching, like it's steady. When you know, you know. Do you understand? It's not like it's different from that. Like I said, we're going to talk about a bit later on videos about the slight difference between self-worth and self-esteem. Now self-esteem, let me just put a little insight so that you understand what I'm trying to say here. I said self-worth is steady, it's unflinching, it's not dependent on your circumstances, it's not dependent on your situations, it's not dependent on your background, it's not dependent on a particular kind of level, right? But self-esteem, to some extent, you can increase those things when you grow in some certain things. Like if you are better in this particular field, your esteem is boosted. When you are talking about that field, there is this confidence that comes inside of you that makes you to talk about it very well. Now there might be someone else that is so quiet in the same setting, maybe in the same meeting, and people feel that this person doesn't have self-esteem, but it's not really about that. It doesn't mean that the person does not understand her own worth. It's just that in that particular field or in that particular topic, this person it's a bit behind on that. It's probably not an interest and all that, but that doesn't mean that the person does not understand his or her worth. So I hope I've been able to give a deep insight of what self-worth is. It's almost 10 minutes, and as always I don't want to go beyond 10 minutes. So that's basically what we talked about today, self-worth. Self-worth comes from self-love. It comes from self-acceptance. You need to be able to accept yourself for who you are and all of that. But at the same time, it does when you understand your self-worth, when you know what your self-worth really means, then you understand your flaws, you understand your mistakes, you understand the things that you do, and you find ways to improve on those things. Knowing yourself what does not mean that you just it's my flaw, so no, that's not it. It helps you to understand your flaws better and helps you to see how you can actually improve on them bit by bit without looking down on yourself, without thinking you're not good enough, or thinking that everybody in the world is against you. Thank you so much for listening once again. I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. Bye.